Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was appointed to that position tonight, lost her bid for the Democratic Party's nomination in this rarely used.
18 months after our first WGN Investigates report on questionable spending by South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard, it appears she has been forced off.
Chaos seems to follow Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dolton, Illinois, and recently ousted Thornton Township Supervisor. Caught in a whirlwind of political drama, legal battles, and mounting public outrage, Henyard now faces her most precarious moment yet. From being removed from the Democratic ballot to accusations of reckless spending, her political career hangs by a thread. But is this truly the end, or is she quietly planning a comeback? The drama peaked on a cold evening in Homewood, Illinois, as hundreds packed into the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium. For the first time in 30 years, a Democratic caucus was convened to select nominees for Thornton Township's leadership roles. At the heart of the storm stood Henyard, fighting tooth and nail to cling to her position as Township Supervisor. With emotions running high and the future of local leadership at stake, the caucus became a political battleground, leaving many to wonder what Henyard's next move will be.
The Democratic caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing.
Even before the event began, cracks in Tiffany Henyard's strategy started to show. According to caucus rules, any candidate running for Township Supervisor needed a full slate of 8 candidates, including positions like Highway Director, Clerk, Assessor, and Trustees. Henyard's ticket, however, was missing a certified assessor, a fatal oversight that disqualified her from the ballot entirely. Seizing the opportunity, Illinois State Senator and Thornton Township Democratic Committeeman Napoleon Harris claimed the nomination for himself, securing his spot as the Democratic candidate for supervisor. The atmosphere turned electric as Henyard confronted Harris, her frustration boiling over. "You didn't run none of this the right way," she shouted, calling the process illegal. The room buzzed with tension, and Harris's supporters added fuel to the fire by mockingly singing a late 60s pop classic as Henyard stormed out, visibly shaken. It was a scene straight out of a political drama, headlines practically writing themselves. Henyard outmaneuvered, her ambitions crushed, at least for now. Outside the auditorium, she vowed to challenge the outcome, claiming the process was rigged. According to Henyard, many of her supporters, including seniors she had arranged buses for, were left stranded outside the venue, which had already reached its 600-person capacity. "This is illegal," she declared, promising swift legal action. "I will be suing everyone tomorrow." The fallout was just as chaotic as the event itself. Henyard's attorney argued that caucus rules had been selectively enforced to disqualify her, while Harris's team maintained that everything had been done by the book. "This is the process that's been going on long before me," Harris said, defending the caucus as a legitimate Democratic tradition. For Harris, it was a strategic victory. By switching from a primary to a caucus, he sidestepped the need to face Henyard in a broader election. But for Henyard, it felt like a calculated move to silence her and her supporters. What happens next? That remains to be seen, but if Henyard's fiery response is anything to go by, this political showdown is far from over.
There are perception issues with it that are right to get attention. Will the court look at those perception issues? Probably not, but the voters...
While Henyard's political opponents celebrated their victory, her allies refused to back down, insisting she still had a path forward. Supporters argued she could launch a successful write-in campaign, banking on her name recognition and dedicated voter base. "I think enough people know her name to write her in," said Keith Price, a vocal Henyard supporter. "We could still win it yet." But Henyard's critics see her latest defeat as a long overdue reckoning. Her political career has been clouded by controversy, with allegations of corruption, reckless spending, and misuse of township resources piling up over the past year. Reports revealed that township funds were used for luxury trips, first-class flights, and expensive meals. One particularly shocking revelation claimed Henyard spent tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars on Amazon purchases, leaving critics questioning how such expenses could possibly benefit her constituents. For many voters, these scandals have cast a long shadow over Henyard's political future, raising doubts about whether a comeback is even possible.
get back and to be a mayor. And we already know she's not going to win that supervisor seat.
Henyard's leadership style has been described as abrasive and confrontational, often alienating both colleagues and residents. During a recent Dolton Village Board meeting, she defiantly declared, "Like it or not, I am your mayor." In response, many attendees walked out or turned their backs to her, a stark display of the division that has grown under her leadership. Adding to her struggles, Dolton has been without a permanent police chief for most of the year, leaving the department in turmoil. Henyard's hand-picked interim chief was recently forced out after a judge ruled he was unqualified for the position. Meanwhile, police morale has reportedly plummeted, with many officers feeling unsupported and overburdened. The lack of stable leadership has contributed to growing public safety concerns. Residents have voiced frustration over rising crime, with some blaming Henyard's administration for failing to allocate enough resources to law enforcement. Critics point to her heavy spending on personal security, reportedly hundreds of thousands of township dollars, while the broader community faces safety challenges. Even more alarming are allegations that Henyard has misused her influence over the police department. Several local business owners claim they were targeted for raids after refusing to donate to events connected to her administration. These accusations have sent shockwaves through the community, with some business leaders calling it a blatant abuse of power that has further eroded public trust.
That you guys displayed at that mic is
The controversy surrounding Henyard's leadership has extended into Dolton's finances. Beyond a reported deficit, her administration is accused of blocking grant funding for critical community projects. For instance, a $400,000 grant intended to revitalize local parks is now at risk of expiring because Henyard's office allegedly refused to issue the necessary permits. Park district officials have publicly criticized her, claiming she's prioritizing political grudges over the needs of residents. "The people of Dolton are paying the price for this petty feud," one official remarked, highlighting the community's growing frustration. These financial disputes have deepened the divide between Henyard and her critics. Some trustees have even suggested that her financial mismanagement is deliberate, with one alleging that her push to drastically reduce the salary for future township supervisors is a calculated move to consolidate power. She's trying to ensure no one else has the resources to challenge her authority, the trustee claimed, fueling speculation that Henyard views her public roles as personal fiefs rather than positions of service.
by 82%. Know this, I am going to come through on a landslide just like Trump did. Know that I will be...
Henyard's financial decisions have come under even more scrutiny after a report by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed Dolton's general fund balance plummeted from over $5 million in 2022 to a deficit of more than $3 million by 2024. The report flagged questionable expenses, including luxury purchases and unexplained credit card charges. Critics have called for greater accountability, with some labeling Henyard as the worst mayor in America. At public meetings, frustrated residents have voiced their anger, with one declaring, "We are your bosses, we are the citizens you serve, and we won't be ignored." Despite mounting controversies, Henyard remains defiant. She's dismissed her critics as political opportunists and vowed to keep fighting for her constituents. "The show will go on," she declared. However, with ongoing legal battles, investigations, and an increasingly divided community, her path to political survival appears uncertain. Community activists and watchdog groups have started organizing town halls and forums to demand transparency from Henyard's administration. Some have even proposed petitioning for a state audit of Dolton's finances, hoping to uncover the full extent of what they call unchecked corruption. If she's innocent, she should welcome a full investigation. But if she's guilty, the people deserve to know the truth, one activist said. As the drama unfolds, social media is buzzing with commentary on Henyard's future. While some supporters urge her to stage a comeback, many critics believe her political career is beyond repair. One commenter bluntly wrote, "That woman needs to be arrested and her assets seized." At this point, it's hard to predict what comes next for Henyard. Will she rally her loyal supporters and fight her way back into political relevance? Or is this the final chapter in her tumultuous career? One thing is certain, the story is far from over, and as investigations deepen and lawsuits mount, the political saga of Tiffany Henyard shows no signs of slowing down.